But let's talk about what FinCEN reporting. So it's going to be starting officially March 1st, but some folks are starting it already right now. And there's this new thing called the real estate report. And the real estate report is this anti-money laundering report that has to get filed with the U.S. Treasury. Closing attorneys are going to have to put it in for U.S. Treasury for certain residential real estate properties. So when it's a residential property and the buyer is an entity, LLCs, trusts, C corporations, partnerships, anything but just, individual owners, and no traditional financing. So cash, private lenders, hard money lenders, anything like that. So even if you have a buyer that's paying all cash, it can still qualify here, kind of thing. So like if it's a buyer that it's gonna, like sometimes we have families that buy a property, put it in a trust and pay with cash from their recent sale, that still qualifies for the reporting. So the reporting isn't necessarily bad, but it's one of those things that's gonna add additional steps and additional time on some of our transactions. Okay. Not every one, only when it's a residential property and the buyer's an entity and no traditional financing is there. So, it's through this FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. They're worried that cartels and things like that are laundering money through real estate. And so they're trying to stop that from going on. Mm-hmm. So in here, they have to report this real estate report to them. This is not going to be public. So it's not like it's public information, because a lot of folks are still worried about releasing a lot of private personal information, that kind of stuff, but it's not public. It's not accessible to the general public. So, but they are going to have to disclose legal entity name, address, jurisdiction, individual ownership percentages, all the people, like a lot of information, a ton of information actually. So the penalties for this are really steep, and the penalties are going to hit the closing attorneys, and they don't want any penpenalties. No. So
closing attorneys will make sure to cover their
assets.
Yeah, for every day it's $592. It can be up to $10,000 in fines.
Of money.
Wow.
Yeah, when it starts adding up a lot. So here's my big concern: time. Because if you have someone that's whether it's an investor or someone with a trust account or something like that, it's going to add. They're saying roughly 10 days to 2 weeks on top of the normal closing time frame.
Wow.
You already know the attorneys. If they're doing all this extra work, they're saying there's an extra 116 pieces of information that could be required for them to gather. So we know that the fees on these transactions, we shouldn't see it go up across the board, but on these transactions, closing costs is going to go up. We also need to make sure that we inform our clients ahead of time, because they're already not the fastest in the world. And if you have an investor who's never had to do this before and now they have to do it, suddenly it's going to be like a real, like what's the big deal? And then they're just going to kind of push it off. The problem here is this is not a reason to invoke the 8-day unilateral. So we can't tie that back in.
Yeah, the GAR contract does not provide provision for that one.
Yep. And then we can't do this for them. This is a certified document. We can't fill it out for them. We can't take this load off them. They have to do this with the closing attorney. So if we're proactive about this, it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. So like I said, but it does pose the risk of adding time, but also like if our investors don't get their stuff into the closing attorneys, then they won't be able to close, but it doesn't give them 8-day unilateral. That's going to put their earnest money at risk in certain instances. So I just want to make sure that we're being really prepared for this.
Laura should know all of this because she's a flipper.
Yeah, I hope she does. So
well, that's a new rule. Honestly, they're not really making an announcement on it.
Wow.
So we're just one, as an agent, if you
we're trying to shout it out there because a lot of investors are going to get really shocked when they try and close at the end of this month. But Some attorneys have already started putting this in place because they don't want to have, I've got a closing schedule for the end of February, then it extends. And now they have to go do all the reporting because they didn't close on time. So they're already putting this in place right now. All right. Megan, did you want to talk about this part?
Oh, let me stand up and I said. Oh, come on, don't make me stand. I'm just kidding. All right, so let's talk about 30-year fixed mortgage rate. Right now, I just actually priced out one at 5.99 FHA, so that is fabulous.
Well, this is conventional here.
Right, conventional is still higher, same credit score, conventional, we're running about 6.25 right now. I'm just telling you that's some of the pricing I'm getting. Same credit score. It can be a lower credit score, y'all, not a higher one. But right now, Freddie Mac is running about 6.11 on conventional, and on FHA about 5.8. Okay.
Wow.
That is what we call raw score. That's not before it goes to a lender. Okay. So that's what they're running right now. And also your average VA loan is about 5.81. So, and sometimes it takes a lender. So it's like this with lenders, when they announce it, sometimes it takes them about a week to catch up to get those rates affected. Because for the lender, they got to make sure those rates are going to be locked for a certain time period, because they're basically buying those rates up front. So, so that's why sometimes you won't see the changes on the lender side. And sometimes lenders get aggressive when they know that they're going to drop. They will start lowering their rates before federal will. Okay, so just FYI. All right, so mortgage rate trends last year versus this year, if you look at it, yeah, isn't that awesome?
That's awesome.
I mean, last year we were sitting at 7%.
Yeah.
So this year we're actually right on 6, right there, just
That's what I
about.
tell
almost.
everybody, if you're getting 6 or below, that's amazing.
I
It's a
say,
great
go
rate.
for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Yep.
Right. So there we go.
Awesome.
Yep. So is it a good time to buy? Absolutely. Especially right now, everybody's coming off the winter season right now. And there's a lot of homes that wasn't
Inventory.
sold, that's been in inventory.
yes.
So guess what? The sellers are very motivated. And guess
Yes.
what they're doing too? They're giving concessions.
Yes.
Okay.
They're
Because they
offering
still
that.
like that sale price. And they don't want to give, they're okay giving concession versus a lower price.
Just
Yeah.
like that new construction, I wonder why they will not lower the price, but they will give you like 10, 20.
That's how they
Can I
protect their
explain?
pricing, though.
Can I explain? So if they lower the price in new construction, that means that every other comps that come after it has to be lower. So for them, it's easier for them to keep the sale price and hoping the appraisal will always tick it up, right? Versus going down because the sale price. So that's why they're giving you guys. So what the builders doing right now, they're buying the rates down for the borrower. And right now, I just did a transaction with DR Horton, and it's 1.99, 2.99, 3.99. So the borrower is guaranteed a 3.99. Okay, this is why new construction is so attractive right now. What that means is that the builder actually, because I went back and look at the back end, they're paying about $12,000 for that buy down, y'all.
And they're offering bonuses too.
Mhm.
Well, that's
They're
every
motivated to
day.
sell.
Listen, every day that house is on market, they're paying interest. And we all know any property does not occupy, when it sits still, it becomes stale. Just like a piece of cracker, right? When you put it out, it's nice and crispy. About a week later, it's really stale. You can taste the staleness. And that's the same thing with new construction.
Yeah.
I
So
like the cracker.
you like the
analogy. I
cracker?
do. I like
Okay,
that
all
a
right.
lot.
Well, hey, look. So I had one the other day. I'm like, ooh, this is stale. So anyways, but what I'm saying is that this is why some of my agents are selling in new construction playground. It's because, okay, the same borrower, I could qualify her right at 6 at the time when she first initially put the application. Okay. Problem is, when you compete with 3.996,
I know.
she can qualify for about 315. With new construction, she was actually qualified for 412. So that's a difference in the power interest rate. But DR Horton is paying $12,000 for that buy down. That makes sense. But rather than lowering their purchase price by $12,000, they rather do that, and they have more pool of people that come in that was only qualified 350. Now they can afford a $400,000 home. That's a difference in interest rate, y'all. And that's why during pandemic, everybody was able to buy $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 house without blinking an eye, because their monthly mortgage payment is still the same.
Still,
Yeah,
Their debt to income ratio is still the same.
yeah.
So, let's say in just 1 year, like I told you guys earlier, January 2025, we're at 7.26. Right now, we're around about 6. The average saving per month is $330.65. That means it's $119,000 saving over the course of the loan. Okay, think about it. That's what interest rate does, and this is 1.25
Well,
interest
a lot of
rate.
people are just not realizing, like, there's still a lot of people like, is it a good time to buy? I don't know if it's a good time to buy. It's a good time to buy. Look at, like what we see going on.
So the way the money market moves is that mortgage company basically borrow the money from federal government, your Fannie Mae, your Freddie Mac, and your VAs, okay? That's where FHA and conventional comes, okay? And what happened is that the federal government said, we gotta make minimum X amount of dollars, okay, interest rate. So that, mortgage brokers are there, mortgage company are there to make money, right? So they're there to basically say, in order to sustain and have a profitable business, we need to charge another 2 or 3% above what the federal government is charging us. Okay, so 6%, they're charging bare minimum, and that is very low interest rate from the federal government. Okay, so if you're at 6.5, honestly, it's great rate. The phenomenal during pandemic where we're getting 3 and 2.75,
yeah.
the federal government was charging
Zero.
0. And that's what
Plus they were
cost.
buying mortgage-backed securities too.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the
So
secondary.
that's
We're
what
not gonna
cost-
see that again.
No.
It was artificially
Unless it was,
created.
it was an artificial increase of home price value because the monthly mortgage was so cheap.
Yeah.
And that was created by the federal government. And we're getting the whiplash of it. When people, so it's like, giving kids Perrier water drink versus tap water. Once you get used to Perrier water, you probably think the tap water sucks, right? Just like
I
bottled
don't, I
water.
don't like Perrier, so.
Well, okay, smart water.
Smart water.
Smart
to
water,
regular.
okay? It's like giving you kids a bottle of smart water every
And
day.
then Florida water.
And then you got Florida water, which got sulfur in it, smell like rotten eggs sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Or
so
you go to the beach and get beach water.
there
That's
you
like,
go,
ugh.
there you go. So, but like I said, this is why interest rate, a lot of people won't talk about interest rate, but this is the power interest rate. And this is the power that if the borrower has some money, truly some money, they can buy down the rates just like everybody else. Okay, and
Yeah,
that
that's
for the
how-
long-term goal, you see, by investing about $12,000, you can save some substantial money. And a lot of people don't look at it that way.
And I've seen some sellers putting in the stuff like assumable loans. Seller has 2.5.
Okay, so a
It's-
simple loan,
yeah.
just so you know, they
It's not
have
worth
to.
Oh.
That's, why?
Because they had to, like example, she got it for 2.5. What if my credit is not good?
Bingo.
So the bank is gonna say,
You have to go through, so for suitable loans, it
and
only
then you have
works
to have
if
the
you have
cash
a,
to-
only
Pay that
if you have a
difference, yeah.
borrower that has equivalent credit as a previous one.
exactly.
And be able to afford it, and let's say the house is on sale price of 350, right? So the loan value on that property is only 250. So the borrower has to come up with $100,000 cash
Upfront.
upfront.
And the bank wants to make more money on the interest rate too. It's like, we can't give it to you for 2.5 if
Well,
I
they'll
get,
give it to you if you qualify.
if you qualify.
Yeah, they'd rather
Right,
keep
that's
the
why-
loan, but
that's
but
why they
most of
call
the time
it-
it's because they can't come up with the cash.
Right,
Yes.
that's why it's called assumable. You can assume the prior borrower's loan. Okay,
You're in their
but
situation.
there's caveat on that, which means you have to have the cash for the difference between the loan amount versus the sale price in cash.
Yeah.
Okay? And plus, this old loan lender, they're gonna charge you a fee for processing it as well. Okay?
Because I
I
tried to
mean,
do
think
it.
about it. Nobody's in business to not
Lose
make
money.
any
Free.
money,
Do
right?
it For free.
No, but is it a good deal for borrower that may have $150,000 cash? Absolutely, all day. Okay? Because they can put that $100 down difference between sale price and the assumable loan, it still benefit from a 2.753%
Yeah.
interest all day. So they do have some costs associated with that. That's not, like I said, a lot of people think, oh, I'll just assume it, and not realize
They
all
gotta pay
these
that
things.
difference.
Well,
Yeah.
that, and they have to be a qualified buyer. They can't be on teetering edge of the credit score and they need
The
down
560.
payment and they need this. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Okay? So anyway, I would
So-
love if you can, yes, I'm soliciting your business. I would love to have your business and I am working really hard to make sure that everybody is communicated because I think what I see from the real estate side in the past is that a lot of us don't get the communication from the lender, right?
Yeah.
And therefore we just like, well, the lender's not doing their job. I promise you, there's so much more moving parts on the lender side because
Oh, yeah.
for a borrower, just because you're doing FHA, on the outward appearance, it all look the same. On the inward, they may have financial difficulties, they may have the asset, they may not have the credit, they may have this, they may not have that, and they have debts or bankruptcy or whatever it is.
Believe me, I used to be a
Okay.
lender.
So,
I was
so,
licensed loan officer.
yeah,
I
so.
hated it.
Thank you. Anyways, but it takes special kind that is, I always tell you, lender is your puzzle fitter, okay? And
Oh,
also
yeah.
your gatekeeper. They're the one who's gonna allow your buyer to be able to move forward with a loan, purchase a home, or they're the one to try and take an individual, look at all the pieces and see where can we put the pieces together to where it fits. Because sometimes it's not always a good fit. And sometimes it may be a time, and sometimes it may be just coaching them to pay off some debts, whatever it is. And sometimes it's just not gonna work because if you're file bankruptcy, I personally can't go off the guidelines.
Or if they
Period.
It
have
may
like
not work now.
2 car payment,
Yeah,
child
now.
support.
Oh, listen,
Student loan.
I just pull
They
up
used to yell at
one.
me.
Listen, I just pull up one. The person had a $97,000 car loans,
Oh.
$1,200 payment a month.
Well, I thought mine was the guy.
So
that I
I'm
gave
like,
was 800.
what the heck?
What's your income look like?
Are you
What kind of
driving your car?
car?
Are you driving your house? Because that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's a brand new BMW.
That's insane.
No,
Yeah.
you can't live out of
Uh,
that.
well,
No.
like I said,
Can, but it'd be tight.
everybody has a different story when it comes to loan because we all have different finances. And sometimes it's not a personal choice where we go just because we're in a certain season of our life, okay? And so sometimes it is a choice that you can make a difference to turn that around so we can make it work. So my job is to basically communicate with the agent, say, I promise you, they're not ready until 6 months, but I given them guideline on how to do certain things. And then you'll
Keep in
know, and
touch.
so when you put your stuff in my portal, and what happened is we have a kind of like our CRM in real estate, right?
Mhm.
We drip. Okay, and we kind of follow up with each one of the buyer has a different drip depending on the situation. Okay,
So who's doing the, are you licensed?
yes,
Yeah.
I've been licensed for a while.
And
Yeah,
Adrian, you're
so
helping,
Adrian's
right?
now gonna be, you're gonna hear from Adrian a lot, okay? So anyways,
I already have
Um,
one.
I promise you, we are working really hard to get everybody there. And if it's not today, we're hoping to do a 3 month, 6 month, a year, because the way I look at it, you still gotta eat during that time,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
You
And-
can't qualify it.
Even they can't qualify. And I know a lot of lender would just trash them because they don't
Oh,
feel like,
yeah.
oh my God, there's such a work. I don't have time for this. I need to go with this borrower that's currently eligible. You know, we are working on a system to where we can drip and encourage the clients really
We've
to
also
take
got
the
people in
steps.
place that can help with that professionally. If they
professionally.
want to, you know, spend a
Well,
little.
let's put it this way. Alan's favorite phrase is that I can lead a horse to the water, but I can't make him drink it.
Mm.
Okay? All
Yeah.
right, so my job is leading to the water, but it's up to them to collaborate with me. If they don't collaborate, I'll let you know in 6 months. It's not working out. They're not doing what I'm asking to do.
Yeah.
And we do have some credit repair options too to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did a rapid rescore on one lady that wasn't really truly qualified. But when we did that, because she has some asset that she could utilize to pay off her debt, so it basically reduced her debt to income. And at the same time, you understand this because you're a lender. And also it boosts up her credit score to where she's not the teetering edge anymore. And now she is open up to more
Options.
financing options versus none. So there's a lot of algorithm back there, I promise you. It's
So
not as
how many
simple as 1, 2,
states
3.
Can you do?
You tell me. Because I got partners. Just so you know, I have partners that
So
are,
when I used to be, it was like everywhere, the whole USA.
yeah, we have
And then they
partners
changed it.
all
Yeah,
over
it's
throughout.
definitely changed.
And
but-
it, well, we have partners internally, so this is not external
Mhm.
transfer. So it's internal transfer with a partner. I only transfer on the higher up level. I don't do the lower level, just because I want to make sure whatever I refer out is a good one.
You retain
Yeah.
control. Yeah.
All right. All right, I think that was my end now.
Yep.
Here, back to you, Alan.
Back to me.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
sit down.
All right, I'm gonna talk about what we're seeing on pricing and where the market is right now. So, what are you guys seeing on price?
It's
Come
coming
down.
down a little.
It's flat.
It's,
It's
yeah.
really, really
It's coming
flat.
down.
That's probably the biggest thing that we're seeing is it's not depreciating, but it's not appreciating at the same rate as it has been over the past several years.
Yes.
We have a lot of sellers that still think that real estate
Yes.
grows 10% a year.
Yeah.
And well, for the last 5 years, we had
It
about
was.
almost 50% appreciation.
Yeah.
Now it's closer to 1.5.
Because I've seen so many reduced price.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's because we have a lot of sellers that are doing optimistic pricing.
Yeah.
And so that is going to put us in that position for that. But we are looking at modest price growth going into 2026. That 1.5%, 2% range is probably going to be what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm okay with that. Not every year is going to be.
That's
And honestly, for affordability, we need to kind of get back into
Yeah.
the more closer to the range of reasonable. I'm glad we're not looking at any kind of depreciating. But that's kind of like a good place for us to be in there. So our current days on market though, over 80 days in market. That's our normal right now.
Right now.
Who needs to
How's
know
that For
that?
your, our sellers, but
Our
average
sellers.
price home,
Well-
because as their prices increase.
This is just an average across the board, but the
Yeah.
average is 80 days. I mean, 81 in the bottom number is what FMLS, the top number is Georgia MLS. So we're 87 days on market in Georgia MLS, 81 days in FMLS. And so what we're seeing is much longer marketing times right now,
Yes.
which for a lot of folks, they've only seen a seller's market.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah.
haven't been, if you've been in the business less than 2012, you've never seen a balanced market. You've never seen a buyer's market. 87 days is not unreasonable kind of stuff. Now, that is what we've been looking at on doing that. Now, part of that is what's happening with listings. So new listings. Now, new listings in Georgia MLS still ended up, up a little bit, 8.7%. FMLS new listings are down. We went through all last year where new listings were up all year long. Big numbers, sometimes 20, 30% more.
Wow.
That is really tapered off. Once we hit fall last year, all the way through winter, we need more listings. It's tightening back up again. And that's not necessarily good for us going into our spring buying season kind of thing. Overall, we're sitting at about 11% more listings this year than where we were last year. So we're better than where we are now. But if you look at where our listings had been for all last year, at one point we were up 33, 34, 35% more listings. And so we're seeing where inventory is tightening back up again. We need more listings.
Because those people that bought with the 2-3%, they're not selling.
Well, we're seeing where a lot more of those folks are because
Uh-huh.
people sell because of life events. Like
Right.
if you're getting a divorce, well, we have a 3% mortgage. No, we're gonna kill each other. Something's gonna happen, right? So like sometimes life events are
Nice.
we're seeing
Yeah.
where that, yeah, if you can keep a 2 or a 3%, you're absolutely, you want to do that. And I get that. But still, when like, you know, like, do you want to have 3% or do you want to be close to the grandkids? Do you want to have 3% or do you want to, you know, like,
Yes.
you know, we have friends that had just a cute little studio apartment in downtown Atlanta, and now they got twins on the way. You could have a great rate. Studio apartment with twins, that gonna be a great place for you? They've
No.
got to sell, they need to buy. So I understand that if you have those choices, that's okay. But for a lot of folks, life happens, right?
Well,
So we are looking at inventory rising, but rising to about where we're at now. I mean, like over this is nationwide. They're looking at about 10% more inventory this year than last year. And we're right at that 10, 11% more inventory than we were last year. So that's tighter than I'd like to see it. We need more inventory. If you remember where we were in summer of 21 and 22, we didn't have enough houses to sell. That's when we saw the prices go crazy.
Yeah.
So now our inventory has been rebuilding, but again, if you kind of see the white line here, what's going on? It's trending down. It's not trending up. We need it to trend up, not down. So we need more houses to sell
Yeah.
on here. This is our current average sales since 1990. You can see that we don't have enough supply. We haven't had enough supply for a long time.
yeah.
It was only back during 2006, 2007, those years when we actually started seeing more supply than we had demand for. And then we had a little bit these past years where it kind of met, but we're back down where we're not going to be able to hit it. So now overall, closed sales were down in January.
Yeah.
Now I want to say that please don't think that's what's really going on right now. Like the
That's
number.
December's
The number of
activities.
I mean, November, December were not good for us.
Yeah.
Those were slower times. We had weather events. You lose 2 weeks of marketing in December. And so
And the
these are the
holidays.
closings that come from all those showings and during that time right then. But don't think that just because that number, here's my worry. We feel like, oh, spring market's not here yet. Spring market's already here.
We don't.
So
do
don't look at that
anything.
number and interpret that the wrong way. So we are looking at having a lot more home sales this year. The forecast is for about 4,500,000. We've been around 4 million for the last several years, kind of stuff. So we're looking at about a 10% jump in overall transactions this year coming up, and that's a really good place for us to be. If we have a 10% jump in just in the
Yeah.
number of transactions, that's a much better place than where we've been. We're not getting back to the 5 million, 6 million yet, but I think that we're heading in a very positive way, right? So, you know, we were talking before about the average. This is our average sale to list price ratio. So the top number here, FMLS. In FMLS, we're at 94%. Basically, 5.5% discount is what the average home in FMLS sold for. In Georgia MLS, the average home sold for 7.6 less than original list price. So if overall we have around a 6% drop in value, and you figure that the median price point for both these MLSs is really close to 400,000. 6% of 400,000 is almost $25,000. That means our average listing, the sellers are having to realize that coming out overpriced was not a good place for them to be.
Yeah.
Right? They're sitting on the market longer. We're seeing more properties taking price reductions. We need to be able to be honest with our sellers about what's really happening with price, using our comparables, not because we want to drive prices down by any means, but be realistic about what's going on. Optimistic pricing is not working. Yeah, being just well, I mean, let's try it. It's just going to sit there. Nobody's going to do it for the just try it numbers out there kind of stuff. Now, market absorption, this is how many months of standing inventory we have. You know, it's like, so we're down to right at about 4.5 months, 4.1 months in FML and in FMLS, 4.5 over the last 6 months, or 4.5 to 5. What's interesting about this is this has gone back down. It was closer. I mean, we were getting closer to that 6 month of standing inventory. It's going back down because what are we seeing happen with inventory? It's going down too. So this is tightening up a little bit on here. So this is just a sign that we need more listings out there. But this is what we hear right now, right? December and January, they're slow every year. Spring season, it's coming soon. Hopefully mortgage rates come down. Gosh, I mean, I hope prices cool off, like I'll make some phone calls
Next
week, right? But see, it's a trap. Everybody thinks that, the spring season's coming soon. If only I don't need to worry about these kind of things. So the good news is there is a lot of opportunity coming up this year. The bad news is it's already started. We're already seeing the number of transactions, the number of showings. If you look at how many showing time is showing right now, we're seeing a real uptick in showings. Mortgage purchase applications are up almost 20% this year over last year. And so we're seeing a lot of things going on, but every year we have a whole lot of folks who end up getting lulled into, the numbers for January came in really low and it's been cold. Now it's warmer now, but it had been really cold and everybody's like, it's not really spring. We don't have to worry about spring season. Yes, you do. The relationships that we're meeting now, the folks that we're talking to, we've got to be ready for that. A lot of folks are just be, there's 11 months in the year. That's true. I mean, it is true. There are still 11 months of the year, right? But everybody falls into this trap. I want us to get out of that. So just calling to say hello is a very simple thing that we really need to be doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about rocket science. I'm not talking about cold calling, but calling your existing database and just saying, hey, how you doing? I haven't kept up with you. I miss you. Those kind of things are really, really powerful for us to be looking at right now. So I've identified 3 opportunity areas that I'd like to kind of share with you because right now we're at a very unique place in our marketplace. We're at a very unique time. And I've identified some areas that I don't think that these are right for everybody, but I do think that one of these would be that one of these you're going to find it would be right for you, and maybe 2. So so first thing is what's happening with affordability. So overall, affordability is improving, and so who's affordability good for? Buyers, right? So we're seeing where buyer opportunity right now is a really, really good place. Part of that is coming from wages. Wages are definitely outgrowing home prices. And as that is, it's improving our folks' buying power. So we're seeing wages that are improving. We've already looked at what's happening with home value appreciation. That's slower. And then with interest rates moving in the right direction, all 3 of those put together, like when you put those 3 together, that's affordability. And so we're seeing some of the best affordability that we've had in a long time. So the affordability, is it as good as it was in 2019 pre-COVID? No, but it's definitely heading in the right direction. So I see that that buyers is a place where we are back to being able to say, is it a good time to buy? Yeah, our buyers right now are saving almost $100,000 a year. I mean, $100,000 over the life of their loan. They're saving on average $300 a month, just in the mortgage savings alone. Then you add in the fact that property appreciation is less, and then what's happening with wages. It's all leading to a much better season for our buyers right now. On top of that, so this is from Realtor. Realtor ranked the top U.S. buyer markets. Notice where Georgia comes in. Yeah, we come in number 9 on there. Now, Zillow also did the ranking. Zillow has us coming in at the 2nd best buyers market in the U.S. So I know that if you've been in around Atlanta your whole life, you think these are not the best prices that we've ever seen. But you move from New York or Texas or Florida or California, like we're a heck of a deal. right?
Yeah.
You know, we have folks move from New York and they're like, I can't believe I got this much house. I would have had just a little dinky shack back
Yes.
there, kind of stuff. So we have some really good opportunities right now on the buy side. One other place where there is a big opportunity is the silver tsunami.
Sounds interesting.
You know, what,
Silver
silver
tsunami.
tsunami.
Silver
You see
tsunami.
these right here.
Yeah, I'm getting all this
Oh,
right
y'all
here.
can't even complain.
Uh,
I
well,
have.
but the silver tsunami, now, what do I mean by the silver tsunami is here? According to the US Census, 12,000 people turn 65 every day for the next 2 years.
Oh, wow.
How, with 12,000 people a day turning 65, is that going to impact housing?
It's like-
Yes or yes? I mean, like hands down, this is going to be a big deal. But 12,000 people every day, I mean, it's hard to even get your head around 12,000 people a day. Not 12,000 people a month, not 12,000 people a week. 12,000 people every day turn 65 for the next 2 years. This is going to shift. We're going to see some impacts in housing from this.
Wow.
So, there's one slide. 12,000 people every day. So here in the South, 46% are over 60. Right? Pretty significant piece of the market, right? Almost half are over 60. So we're talking primarily our boomers, our baby boomers.
The baby
So,
boomers.
yeah. Now, they've been through a lot, right? They saw the Berlin Wall go up. They saw the Berlin Wall come down. Cuban Missile Crisis. They know where they were when Kennedy got shot, that kind of stuff. They saw the moon landing or the supposed moon landing, depending on who you are, right? That kind of stuff. They all got high in Woodstock. So like that's, that's our boomers. Now, boomer buyers and sellers, they tend to be much more confident. Sometimes to the point of being demanding.
You smell it all.
What?
I know. No. Image matters very much to this group, but they are also very economically driven. Now, the good part about the economically driven, what do our boomers have a lot of?
Money.
Equity, cash. Yes. Our boomers have been saving for years. Our boomers bought. So, like we have friends that they bought their home for $30,000 20 something years ago.
Yeah.
It's worth $500,000 now. It's been paid off for forever. They've been saving for a long time. They have investments. So like this is a really good place. Now, also, they have some of the highest overall home ownership rates out there. And this group accounts for 75% of the wealth in the United States.
75%, you guys.
Yeah.
I am one of them.
Well, yeah.
That's what I said. A lot
Well, I
of
mean,
them are my friends.
I'm Gen X, but I'm almost
Wait,
there.
what do you mean are your friends?
Yeah.
Okay?
Are
Yeah.
my friends.
Now our boomers are retiring very different.
Yeah.
Retirement for the boomers
Yeah.
is different than it used to be. It was like, I'm going to retire, sit on my front porch with old Red sitting here by my side. And I'm going to sip some coffee. Our boomers are jumping on airplanes and crap like that. So boomer retirement is not the same.
They're going on cruises, they're going
Oh,
on
yeah.
tours, they're doing all
Yeah.
sort of things, which, very happy for
Yeah.
them.
Now a lot of folks are doing phased retirement, meaning like I know multiple friends that I'm only working 1 or 2 days a week.
Mhm.
So a lot of folks are doing phased retirement. Then there's a lot of folks, and I plan on being this unretired person. Like I'm gonna be 80, I'll have that walker with the tennis balls on it. Like, you want to see a house? Like I plan on doing that same kind of
Because you
thing,
love what you
100%.
do.
So I plan on going through that same kind of thing. So for our boomers, right? Top 3 reasons for selling, hands down, family. It's all about family. Like for some folks, it's definitely going to be homes too large. We hear a lot about downsizing,
Yes.
It's not really downside.
but they don't really
Square feet.
downsize.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't really
They just
downsize.
moved to a ranch with the
Well,
same square
well,
footage.
but this is what
On
we
the
see.
basement.
Sellers over 60 downsize 100 square foot.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger than a closet is the average down. I mean, they go from a 2,000 square foot home to a 1,900 square foot home, right? So they all say they want to downsize, but then it's like, where are we gonna put the piano? And I want my prayer room, and I want to have this, and all this other kind
But
of
my
stuff.
house has 2 kitchens and
Yeah.
my house has,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
You know, one's for what ifs, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, they'll keep 4 bedrooms, right?
Yeah,
But we do see where they talk a lot more so about downsizing, but then the reality is what we see is they tend to go not nearly as small, but they definitely lose a floor. It's the ranches and those kind of things. We're even seeing where they're looking at other things that we maybe in the past would not even considered, such as elevators.
Yeah.
Like we have new construction over 55 townhomes that have elevators in them now.
well,
Wow.
So like, now what we're seeing is that the older somebody gets, the more they look at senior related housing and considering housing options for what that's gonna be, right? So now, what that really means, they wanna be close to healthcare. That's a big factor. And honestly, that's a really big point for Newnan, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of healthcare in the Newnan area. So like that makes this area in particular really good. They care a lot about the neighborhood. They like planned communities. They like walkability and walkable neighborhoods. These are all very important factors for them. So for a lot of our seniors, they want to age in place. Now, maybe that can be a renovation, but for a lot of them, it's selecting the right house to age in place in. This is going to be the last house we live in. This is going to be a place where we spend our final days. And they want places that are looking like that. We're seeing where that's like if you've got the giant McMansion and everything's upstairs, is that going to be a great place for retirement? For a lot of them, it isn't. It's not the right choice. So we are seeing where, but folks are looking for a different type of house. They're looking for more ranches and those kind of things. It really breaks down into 3 distinct camps. And so one is our active adult communities. And so this is summer camp for seniors, right? Have you been to some of the Del Webbs?
The one in.
Sun City. Oh, no, they're here.
There's one in Griffin.
We have 4.
Sun City.
We have 4 Sun Cities here. I mean, I'm sorry, we have 4 Del Webbs.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
there's one at Chateau Lawn, there's one
Uh-huh.
coming here in Newnan. And then, but like when you go, like I've been to Sun City Peachtree pretty recently. They've got 3 golf courses. They have 3 pools. 2 of them are indoor, bocce ball courts, tennis courts. What's the other court? Ones everybody's doing? Pickleball courts, walking tracks, and then they have all these clubs
have
and games
pools
and
and
groups
gyms.
and all this kind of stuff.
Fireplace too,
Huh?
a fire department.
Oh yeah,
Fire
they
station.
well, and the place is gorgeous. They don't do any lawn care. You only own the house and where it sits on that piece of dirt. You don't even own the shrubs. They do all your lawn care. They take care of everything, and like they have entertainment directors. It's like going on a cruise ship.
In Carrollton, I teach sometimes for Tanner at the senior communities,
Yeah.
and they are amazing. I mean, they have pools and gyms and you have your own house, but you can choose to go to the cafeteria, which
Participate.
is very fancy,
Yeah.
and eat. You don't even have to cook.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm moving
So,
here.
but in our area, these are some of the most like I would call these the premiums, right?
Yeah,
And so we have they're kind of all over. The fact that there's a new one coming into Newnan, I like that a lot too. Now you also have your affinity communities. Now, for most of the time, we're talking golf, right? Because our seniors love golf. It's one of those things they really have. Now, it could also be things like even like over Mallard's Landing. Everybody there owns an airplane. They have their own resort, that kind of stuff. But we see a lot of golf, a lot of waterfront living is the same kind of thing. And then there is even a luxury here in Newnan. So the Gardens at Arbor Springs over there. Now, for a lot of people, it's going to be the 55 plus community. Palms, there's a lot of Crestwinds that are over 55. And it won't have the same level of amenities, but it will still be very much tailored to these folks, right? And it's going to be close to healthcare, all the kind of things that really fit in. Now, the challenge for all these is like inside our MLS, it's really hard to identify 55 plus unless you're actually looking for it. You can't go in or you can, but so many agents don't list property the right way,
Yes.
right? You might find one or two that are identified. It's a 55+ community in a listing.
Mhm.
You'll find 7 or 8 that aren't even listed that way.
Yeah.
So if you want to work inside or with this group, you have to kind of go old school real estate. You have to know what's going where, who, you got to start getting engaged, because these are the kind of houses and the kind of facilities and neighborhoods that are really appealing to this group. Right?
We
And
need to
so
go meet the directors of the,
it's
Absolutely.
100%.
And I can tell you right
just think
now,
about like even like making this list. I found some that I didn't know,
no.
right? And for you to be this, I'm like we know that this is going to be a really good opportunity, but think about how many realtors have no idea what Del Webb is, or where Park Springs is, or that Crestwinds. Like having that kind of market knowledge for this particular group is a very, very good place to be. And that's kind of knowledge that is going to be very beneficial for you if this is a target group that you want to be working with, Debbie.
Well, and I'm also seeing, so I can double dip. I can go meet them, talk to them about teaching Tai Chi,
Yeah.
meet the people,
Yes.
and
Yes,
sell the real
The
estate.
one that they
So
built right next to Tanner is elevator.
The
It's
Birches.
55 and plus.
Yeah. Oh, there's a much bigger list than this.
Mhm.
You know,
So,
there's one being
yes.
built right next to Ming and I kind of thing.
No,
So
I didn't know
so-
there was one in the Georgian at Billericay.
yeah.
Did you? I didn't know they had a 55+.
Yeah,
for a-
but when you start looking for that, when you start meeting with the Silver Tsunami,
Yeah,
this is kind of information that's going to be really, really valuable, because they need folks that can speak the language of what they're looking for, that understand what's special about them, how to really service them, that kind of stuff. Any questions about that?
No,
All right. Our third area where
not yet.
there's a distinct opportunity right now is with expired listings. So on expired listings, a couple of things about, and just some basic stats I want you to know. Sellers who relisted with a different agent are more likely to sell than sellers who relist with the same agent.
Why?
Well, when you relist with another agent, do you normally change the price?
Mhm. They go lower.
It's not just lower, it's just different. I'll show you a slide for that.
No.
Also, that agent who initially listed the property, we have a lot of listing agents that still think it's summer of 21, summer of 22, when all I had to do was put a sign in the yard, lockbox on the door, put it in the MLS, and say a little prayer. That was the extent of their marketing. And so
Yeah.
for a lot of folks who are picking up expired listings, they do a better job than
Yeah.
some of the original listing agents. So I don't have the exact data on why. I can just tell you that it's true, and by a pretty significant number, right? Also, sellers who switch agents sell faster than sellers that stay with their existing agent. So
Really?
the numbers speak for themselves. Now, the pricing strategy, this is what I found so interesting, 'cause I did not expect this. If you relist at the same price, you are the least likely to sell the home. If you relist at a higher price or a lower price, you're more likely. And it's even more likely to relist at a higher sale price.
Wow.
So what the real kicker here is don't stay the same, right? The same sale price is not the place to be. Whether you go up or whether you go down, it really doesn't matter that we're not talking about a huge difference, 2%, right? But you're more likely to sell if you change the price up or change the price down. Make sure you change the price, right?
Okay.
So this is also something new about expired listings. Expired listings used to be, they would relist in 3 days or 3 months. Now, the average expired listing is 36 days off the market. Then the house gets relisted. The average is 75 days, which is less than what our current days on market is. And then the house gets sold. And so this is different than what we've seen in the past. So the reason I'm saying now is an important thing. If you know that folks are only staying off the market for a month or two, well, last year, especially at the end of last year, we had the highest number of homes delisted ever since we've been tracking it. So a lot of folks took their home off the market the end of last year.
Yeah.
They're not back on market, right? Of those folks, half have not relisted right now.
Wow.
A lot of those folks said, no, it's not a good time to sell. It's not a good market. You know, they went into the fall and we even talked about how fall, winter was not good for us, right? We saw overall transactions go down. They felt it and then they just pulled their listings off the market.
Yep.
And now we're looking at, look, we need a lot more inventory moving into the spring buying season. We don't have enough inventory right now. There's been a big shift and inventory is tightening up again. This is a really good time to be looking at it. When over half of these people haven't relisted, this is a distinct opportunity that's available right now, much more so than it will be in the future, kind of stuff. So I just don't want us to miss on that opportunity out there. So let me go back. Whether it's expired listings, silver tsunami, or buyers, I think that most everybody has one of those three opportunity areas inside their business. Some could do all three. Most, it's going to be, this is one area where I can really focus. And I think that all three are distinct opportunities that are right now because of where we are in the marketplace. I think buyers is a great place to be. I think expired listings is a great place to be. And I think for, you know, getting the knowledge and starting to engage with seniors is a great place to be. All three of these, there has to be at least one that speaks to your business. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last thing, I've got every Monday we have masterminds. They're over Zoom. They don't make you turn your camera on. You could be a hot mess. I don't care. We start every Monday morning at 9:30 in the morning. We go through, and every week is something a little bit different. Like this week coming up, sorry, that was last week, but this week coming up, we got Georgia MLS. So Georgia's going to be coming out. They've made some, if you haven't noticed, they made some recent changes to transaction desk, but they just made changes and everybody's like, oh, look, it's new. Wonder what it does now. That kind of thing. So she's going to go over those kind of changes. Then we have the Bold Trail people coming and they're going to be going over that. Sean Delaney, who's from Maxwell Great Atlanta, he's going to be going over systems. Then we have more Canvas stuff with SureLink Marketing. And then, well, you know, we have a lead gen workshop. So every week it's something different. Every week it starts off on a Monday. And the whole idea is that we get our butt in gear. We get up, we get rolling, we get moving for the week and get out and get going. So I did want to recognize our top producers.
Woohoo!
All
So,
right.
yeah. I don't have any here with me today.
But you know what? I want to see y'all's name on the board.
We
I
better.
don't want our names on that
Yeah,
board.
That's
absolutely.
right.
Yeah, and then this is our top producers for last year. This is where everybody came in for the year. That's our top 12 for last year.